State's top leaders say they want to waive part of a new summer camp safety law. It requires camps to install fiber optic internet, but many camp leaders say that's impossible. State lawmakers passed the new rules last year after 25 campers, 2 counselors, and the camp director of Camp Mystic died in flash flooding in Kerr County. KVUE's Daniel Perot is here. And Daniel, this is all part of a push to allow more camps to open this summer.
We're less than 3 weeks out from the start of the summer camp season, and only 9 Texas summer camps as of now are licensed to operate under the new state law. As camps across the state scramble to comply with the new requirements, the House Speaker and the Lieutenant Governor are offering some relief, but some are also questioning whether the state health agency can do what those leaders want. May is usually a busy time for summer youth camp operators, planning to welcome campers in a matter of weeks, but an overwhelming majority of these camps in Texas are wondering if they'll be able to open at all. Less than a dozen have gotten the green light from the state. More than 200 others are struggling to comply with new rules. On Tuesday, Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and House Speaker Dustin Burrows said they support lifting a requirement for camps to have access to fiber optic internet, a provision of a new law that some camps argue simply is not available in remote or rural areas of Texas. And if it is, they can't afford to get it.
Camps are spending millions and millions of dollars.
Ed Walker leads the Christian Camp and Conference Association. He says he's not so sure about Burrows and Patrick saying if camps can provide reliable, redundant internet access that would satisfy the spirit of the law.
This just doesn't have the prerogative to say, well, we're just not going to enforce that, or we're going to wait. If it's in the law, they have to do it.
On the House floor last September, State Representative Wes Verdell, who represents the area where Camp Mystic is located, flagged this part of the bill.
Between the feasibility of the actual fiber optic line versus Starlink or some other technology, I think that it is unnecessary to have that in the bill.
Nearly 20 camps have sued to block the fiber part of the law, arguing it violates state law and does not make their properties safer. In the fall, the bill's authors asked the state health agency to delay implementing the fiber requirement until 2027, but it did not. Last week, State Representative Drew Darby told the agency to follow the law.
When we pass legislation, we expect our agencies to follow that.
Representative Verdell has asked Governor Greg Abbott to call a special session to address some of the issues with the law. Burrows and Patrick say they'll revisit this when the legislature meets in January, but some camps say they can't wait that long.
A camp could lose a year or 2 of summer by the time that's fixed in a regular session, and they can't survive that.
A hearing on the lawsuit filed by those youth camps is set to take place next week here in Austin. We reached out today to the Texas Department of State Health Services to ask whether it plans to waive the fiber part of the law. We've not heard back, but agency leaders have said that camps will be allowed to operate on existing licenses while their applications are pending.